Chapter 305. One Step Short of God, Million-Year Spirit Beast. TL by Babelson. Seeing Tang San so easily dissolve the deep-sea demon whale king's attack, whether Ma Hongjun above him or the devil spirit great white sharks and the others watching in the distance, they all couldn't help feeling a rush of confidence. And in fact, the reason Tang San dared come challenge the deep-sea demon whale king, whose strength was unknown but very possibly wasn't second to Pig Duo, wasn't mainly relying on the great Sumeru hammer, nor any ability or capability combination, but rather the sea god's light. No matter how powerful the deep-sea demon whale king was, it was still after all a sea spirit beast. The sea god's light was the inheritance of the once ruler of the oceans. Just this point meant an immense advantage when Tang San faced the deep-sea demon whale king. The extent of the deep-sea demon whale king's originally extremely powerful control over the ocean had become very limited. Just as Tang San anticipated, now that he tried it, the effect of the deep-sea demon whale king using the energy of the ocean to attack the sea god's successor was substantially reduced, and then easily dissolved by Tang San. Faint light flickered, and Tang San's face exposed to tyrannical energy fluctuation. The blue silver tyrant spear disappeared into the ocean in practically an instant, only leaving behind a golden speck of light on the surface. Facing the deep-sea demon whale king, even though he equally had to bear enormous pressure, there was one thing that made Tang San relieved. The deep-sea demon whale king was in the end a sea spirit beast. While widely known for its enormous power, its mental power wasn't as formidable. At least it wasn't stronger than sea god Bilbo Sexy, and Tang San's present mental strength cultivation was already one step into the god level. Unless he met someone with divine sense level mental strength like Chen Ringchu, he would have the advantage, further adding the support of the sea god's light, and he was like a tiger with wings, allowing him to clearly grasp the actions of the deep-sea demon whale king below. The initiative of the battle was held entirely in his hands. Boom! Countless golden specks of light rose from the surface of the sea, and an incomparably enormous body also floated to the surface. Its crystal blue body seemed terrifying even without sunlight. A single eye coldly watching Tang San in the air. A golden light was just now gradually fading on its wide back. Tang San's heart sank. Even though he'd already estimated the deep-sea demon whale king very highly, the enemy was still formidable beyond his plans. The blue silver tyrant spear had no effect as a probing attack. It didn't even force the deep-sea demon whale king to use any defensive ability. It withstood the attack purely by relying on its tough skin. In fact, the blue silver tyrant spear was a 100,000-year spirit ability. Even when Tang San faced the 15-ton ant emperor's powerful defense, they couldn't escape it unscathed. But now the deep-sea demon whale king seemed unperturbed. Its giant body, if it had such defensive power everywhere, then that was just too terrifying. It was simply a giant ocean fortress. No wonder Xiao Wei said the deep-sea demon whale king was possibly the #1 absolute overlord of the sea. So it's you. The deep voice seemed to echo from the ocean. The strange sound wave spread into the air, and Tang San frowned as he heard it. It seemed like all the blood in his body vibrated along with this strange energy wave. This was a less than wonderful feeling. You recognize me? Tang San didn't feel it was strange that the deep-sea demon whale king could speak. Even Xiao Bai could. So how could the deep-sea demon whale king not? That it didn't speak last time was definitely because it didn't feel they were qualified for the effort. The sea god's successor. How could I not recognize you? However, even if you were the sea god's successor, you still can't barge into my territory, and you even attack me. Very well, don't think about leaving today, just stay here. I wonder if swallowing the sea god's successor can help me break through the final step. Tang San gave a cold snort. Then I'd like to see if you swallow me, or I annihilate you. The deep-sea demon whale king laughed. The sound was extremely unpleasant, like a giant rock being smashed to bits. Kid, do you know what is called overestimating one's abilities? I took the bait last time. That wasn't the sea god itself, but still scared me off. Otherwise, do you believe you could still provoke me now? This world no longer has a sea god. I am the ruler of the ocean. It seems your spirit power is roughly at rank 96, but your body is actually pretty good, close to demigod. Unfortunately, your body is at most 40% into the god level, but my body is already 99% there. Do you think you can still block me with that sea god trident without the sea god's heart? Just let me eat you and fill up the last 1%. I'll become a demon god unprecedented in history. While speaking, the deep-sea demon whale king's giant body abruptly rolled violently in the sea, instantly flinging up its enormous tail and slapping towards Tang San in the air. A purple blue light shot out like lightning, sweeping towards Tang San and Ma Hongjun in a fan shape. Where that enormous energy passed, the air was forcibly torn apart, forming a layer of tiny dark lightning around the purple blue fan shape. The deep-sea demon whale king wasn't using the power of the ocean for this, but rather purely its physical body. Listening to the deep-sea demon whale king, Tang San suddenly understood something. To be able to forge such an enormous body to 99% god level, the last step he mentioned was to become god. From spirit beast transforming straight into a god, even Grandmaster had never heard something like it. How many years of cultivation would that take? There was no time to think about that now. Both hands clenching the sea god trident, Tang San's eyes glittered as another ray of sea god's light shone on the trident. At this moment, heavy earth and yellow and lively sky blue colors poured into the trident at the same time, making that dark weapon transform. Tang San made a strange movement, violently flinging out the trident. Both hands gripped the end of the haft. With him as center, he forced the sea god trident to spin in an enormous circle in the air. The trident no longer had its golden splendor, but infused with his left arm's gravity control, it still drew the outline of an earth and yellow halo in the air. At the same time, that blue lightning bolt permeated the circle, actually meeting the deep-sea demon whale king's attack head-on. The energy flung out by the whale tail and Tang San's circle struck together violently. Immediately, the light in the sky dimmed. This time it was a collision without any noise. The sky was quietly terrifying. The energy from before silently disappeared in practically the same moment, yet leaving even a trace behind. Yee, it seems you've really learned some skills from the sea god. However, it's just this much. In those days, the sea god used this trident to stab my eye. You're just his successor, and you still dare drop in and pick a fight. Do you believe you really are a god? Even if you really were, I'd still have you shed a layer of skin. When mentioning the sea god, this deep-sea demon whale king's voice was filled with fury. The calm seawater instantly boiled, enormous energy waves blocking Tang San's mental strength outside in a split second. Tang San calmly said, Demon whale king, if I'm not mistaken, your cultivation might be close to 1,000,000 years. Spirit beast cultivation is even more difficult than for us human spirit masters. Just like our problem of breaking through to the rank 99 pinnacle, you spirit beasts have to cultivate the greatest strength by relying on even more time. In order to break through the god level, you need energy stored over even more time. You rely on your enormous body to gradually become an energy form over time, thereby gaining even more time to cultivate. In this respect, I have to admire you. The deep-sea demon whale king planned to keep attacking, but hearing Tang San, he still suspiciously said, You can tell my cultivation. Don't tell me you've already become god. No, impossible. Your presence is still far from the sea god's level. It talked about being fearless of the sea god, but in fact, the sea god was its only nemesis in this world. Unless it could break through the bottleneck and rise to the demon god level, it basically wasn't the sea god's match. It was completely suppressed in attributes, and no matter how enormous its energy, it still could nothing against the sea god. Tang San's question was actually a probe, and hearing the deep-sea demon whale king confirm it, he couldn't help drawing a cold breath. Heavens. He was actually facing a million-year spirit beast. Never mind if he could kill it. Even if he really could, would he be able to completely absorb its spirit ring? His grip on the sea god trident unconsciously tightening. Tang San's gaze now changed. Now the deep-sea demon whale king already understood. Kid, you're just guessing. That's right. There's no harm in telling you. I have already lived 1,000,000 years in the ocean. I'm just lacking the final step to reach the god level. You're right. It's extremely difficult for spirit beasts to become god. I reached my current level 100,000 years ago already, but I still can't break through the final barrier. It seems I lack a god seat. And today this sea god's successor drops in. Just let me swallow you and accept your divinity. I will be the new sea god. Before the deep-sea demon whale king had finished, Tang San suddenly moved. His actions were extremely abrupt. Without storing any strength or taking a stance, he suddenly turned into a streak of light. The sea god trident furthest ahead. Tang San's full spirit power erupted. The sky blue ball python right arm spirit bone sky blue fading thunderclap instantly launching, and at the same moment, he also released his blue silver emperor ninth spirit rings blue silver sky blue dragon soul spirit ability. An enormous azure dragon covered Tang San, and whether he or the sea god trident he held, had this moment become completely azure. And before he attacked, Tang San also swallowed an erect gold fly to instantly increase his attack power. The boosts didn't stop there. 7 lines of light turned into a stunning rainbow from the distance, shining on Tang San, making the azure light he emanated abruptly expand. Tang San himself couldn't be seen, nor could the sea god trident he held. To the lone eye of the deep-sea demon whale, all it could see was an azure dragon dropping from the sky, straight at it. You're looking to die. The deep sea demon whale roared furiously. This time it didn't launch any energy attack. Rolling once again. The 200-meter-long enormous body revealed extreme flexibility. At the same time as it turned, that giant tail fin swung, slapping at the azure dragon descending. Although his body was already 99% into the god realm, it still sensed intense danger from Tang San's attack. With the double boost of erect gold fly and the 9 treasure glazed tail pagoda, plus Tang San's gravity control increasing the weight of the sea god trident to 1,080,000 jin, as well as those 2 peak spirit ability attacks, let alone the deep sea demon whale king, even god level Chen Rinchu would have to treat such numerous combined attacks seriously. Tang San's attack definitely reached the god level. Since fighting Chen Rinchu, Tang San had made remarkable progress in the use of as well as the explosive attack power of all kinds of abilities. That's how he could now erupt with such an enormous attack. Boom! The enormous tail fin heavily struck the azure dragon without any suspense. The surroundings of that tail fin was filled with a layer of intense purple blue light, like countless lightning bolts compressed. The energy the deep sea demon whale king had stored up over a million years really was too enormous. It really was just one step short of being able to enter the god level. Sensing the danger in Tang San's attack, it also used its full strength. The instant the whale fin struck the azure dragon, the giant azure dragon that had formed outside Tang San was broken apart. However, Tang San wasn't so easy to deal with either. Even though the collision made him feel as if all his bones had come loose, he still firmly stabbed the sea god trident into the deep sea demon whale king's tail. The 3 sharp blades cut open the deep sea demon whale king's skin and stabbed deeply inside. The sea god trident was just a tiny toy compared to the deep sea demon whale king's body, but even if it was already soulless, it was still a form of divine weapon. The deep sea demon whale king screamed in pain, shaking its enormous body as hard as it could, radiating terrifying energy waves, wanting to throw off Tang San and the sea god trident. Tang San's attack was long since planned for, so how could he let himself be thrown off easily? Resisting the pain, both hands firmly gripped the sea god trident, pouring another ray of sea god's light into it. Thrusting the sea god trident a bit deeper, he twisted hard, making the deep sea demon whale king unable to force him off. At the same moment, the golden 8 spider lances instantly stretched out behind Tang San. This external spirit bone had injured the deep sea demon whale king before, and now once again stabbed into its flesh. Back then Tang San had been freakishly lucky and also underestimated by the deep sea demon whale king, allowing Tang San to charge over to the weakest point that was its blowhole, and could then stab with the 8 spider lances. But now the 8 spider lances had already evolved to the god level, and he no longer had to go look for weak points. The sharp lance tips ruthlessly stabbed down, immediately displaying their powerful draining effect and formidable poison. They firmly held Tang San closely to the deep sea demon whale king's tail fin, and no matter how it struggled it was unable to throw Tang San off its back. Intense pain caused the deep sea demon whale king to spasm. Even though its body was powerful and killing it with poison was practically impossible, Tang San's 8 spider lances had absorbed such terrifying poison, especially the ice and fire poison from the ice and fire yin yang well. That was something even the deep sea demon whale king couldn't completely resist. Further adding the sea god trident stabbed inside, as well as the 8 spider lances powerful draining ability, the deep sea demon whale king twisted with pain in the water. His demon whale domain also instantly erupted, purple blue light covering the entire area. Unfortunately, whether it's twisting or domain, neither had any effect on Tang San. Enveloped in sea god's light, plus the vast sea barrier, the power of the ocean couldn't influence Tang San at all to begin with, and relying on the sea god's light for protection, Tang San could completely ignore the deep sea demon whale king. No matter how violently the deep sea demon whale king moved, how could it have any effect on Tang San? Intense slaps and attacks by seawater was basically nothing to the demigod level Tang San. When he had just glued himself to the deep sea demon whale's body, he had spit out a mouthful of blood. That was the injuries earned from the clash with the deep sea demon whale king's tail. However, after gluing himself there with the 8 spider lances, Tang San immediately ate one of Oscar's crystal caterpillar sausage produced after using erect goldfly. Even if it was a bit extravagant, saving it was useless. Oscar's entire stock was already stored in his wishful 100 treasures purse. Just like when he passed the trials back on Sea God Island, while Tang San looked to be fighting alone, he in fact had the support of his comrades behind him the whole time. The 8 lances draining effect fully started. Tang San wasn't concerned with how much effect the poison would have, but he knew with certainty that draining the deep sea demon whale king's energy was enormously beneficial to him. The god level 8 spider lances draining ability really was too terrifying. In practically just a few of the deep sea demon whale king's struggles, it had already drained a large amount of energy, and moreover turned it into pure energy for Tang San to absorb. The exhaustion from previous attacks was completely recovered, and the constant draining also helped Tang San's energy rise. The places the 8 spider lances stabbed not only turned golden, but moreover quickly dried out. The 8 spider lances didn't just drain energy, but also the deep sea demon whale king's life force. If Tang San could store that much, then it could even empty the deep sea demon whale king completely. Of course, this would take an extremely long time. Giant waves constantly devastated the local sea. Dai Mubai and the others could not longer stay calm on the side, but with the help of Xiao Bai and her kin, these waves weren't enough to influence them. Each one focused their attention on the deep sea demon whale king toying with all its might in the sea. Everything that happened was completely within Tang San's plan. Tang San had told everyone that the deep sea demon whale king was bound to be extremely strong, and defeating it head on would be practically impossible. At that time Tang San had still only believed that the deep sea demon whale king possessed a few 100,000 years of cultivation, but even so, he also understood that with a few 100,000 years of savings, the energy the deep sea demon whale king's body had stored was enough to easily grind them all to death. However, Tang San also declared that the deep sea demon whale king had a weakness. That was its powerful and enormous body. Indeed, this creature as giant as a fortress could easily block any attack without harm, but no matter how flexible it was, its body was still there. As long as he could get within a certain range, its enormous size would definitely be a restriction. This was what Tang San thought of according to how he once harmed the deep sea demon whale king. Just now he instantly used erect gold fly, Ning Rongrong's boost and the million Jin sea god trident to successfully complete an established goal, charging in close to the deep sea demon whale king. Even though he would be injured in a frontal assault, the deep sea demon whale king wouldn't be any better off. Moreover, Tang San didn't stop at this. Sticking close to the deep sea demon whale king's body, he was like a large golden spider. The 8 spider lances rose and fell, slowly climbing upwards. Each time the 8 spider lances fell, they would leave behind a drained hollowed out depression on the deep sea demon whale king's body, causing it to spasm violently. Even more painful to the deep sea demon whale king was that the wizened skin would definitely have substantially reduced defense. Tang San dragged the sea god trident, using its sharp main blade to cut its skin. Blood and flesh welled out. He also brought out 2 bottles, constantly pouring the red and blue liquid they contained into its wounds. No matter how violently the deep sea demon whale king turned, it still could do nothing since Tang San's actions were all below its energy protection. No matter how the deep sea demon whale king moved, its fish-shaped enormous body was fixed. It had no way of grabbing Tang San. It was the first time the deep sea demon whale king experienced something like this. He was of a mind to attack its own body, taking the damage to get rid of Tang San. But its pure energy attacks had to be issued with its body and couldn't be turned on itself. Only those attacks using the ocean could hit it. But these attack methods were less than useless to Tang San. Any attack you launch, I'll meet with sea god's light. What Tang San poured into the deep sea demon whale king's wounds naturally wasn't anything beneficial. Even though he didn't have much, this wasn't the time to save it. The spring waters of the ice and fire yin yang well were a good thing. It was relying on this that he originally killed numerous evil spirit orcas. The strength of the deep sea demon whale king's body naturally wasn't anything the evil spirit orca could compare to, but amidst the torment of ice and fire, its bodily functions were still swiftly destroyed. And making it suffer the most was that Tang San was constantly spreading the pain over its body. Roar! The enormous tail fin heavily struck the ocean, raising giant waves. And the deep sea demon whale king's enormous body also relied on this strike to abruptly soar from the water. That was a 200-meter long giant. To be able to leap into the air like this showed how deep and resounding its strength was. Even Tang San on its back had no choice but to stop moving around due to the shock. If the deep sea demon whale king could see Tang San's expression now, it would definitely discover that the human tormenting it had a trace of a triumphant smile at the corners of his mouth. The lacerated wounds on the deep deep-sea demon whale king near the froze to ice, or turned into charred meat. But between these two sides there also appeared a faint golden blue color. Incomparably enormous body erupted from the deep-sea demon whale king's head. In this instant, its 200-meter long body actually halted in midair. Deep blue light shot from the ocean below, and from the vast dark clouds descended 9 lightning bolts as thick as barrels, slamming the deep-sea demon whale king's body. Fortunately, even the deep-sea demon whale king couldn't control these 9 purple lightning bolts, and so missed Ma Hongzhen, but he still felt paralyzed and quickly flew 1,000 meters away in shock. Intense purple blue light instantly covered the deep-sea demon whale king's giant body. Whether the blue from below or the purple lightning falling from above, they left behind a layer of faintly golden light on its back, and the deep-sea demon whale king's skin seemed to condense into a purple blue crystal. At the same time, its giant body began to shrink with astonishing speed. At the same time as the purple bolts of lightning struck the deep-sea demon whale king, Tang San felt numb all over. The got level 8 spider lancers naturally wouldn't be affected, but at this moment Tang San still chose to withdraw. In a flash the 8 spider lancers had withdrawn, and with a blur he appeared several hundred meters away. At the same moment, he shifted the sea god trident with his right hand, instantly switching spirits. The giant clear sky hammer was gripped in his left hand. Fatty, get ready. This fellow's attributes are water and thunder. Tang San called loudly. The 8 spider lancers on his back stretched out, that intense golden light making Tang San's aura flourish. Correct. The deep-sea demon whale king's body was much stronger than him, but his 8 spider lancers weren't only demigod level, but truly god level. This was also how he could control the deep-sea demon whale king like that before. Tang San of course knew what the deep-sea demon whale king was doing. Just like he wasn't startled by its spitting human language, even Xiaobai could temporarily take human form on land. How could this millionaire deep-sea demon whale king to less? To eliminate the weak point of its size, he only had one option. This was also the route Tang San had planned. Way back when on the Sea God Island, Tang San had heard Xiaobai say that any sea spirit beast, even if they could take human shape, ordinarily wouldn't do so, because after taking human form, the superiority of their physique was completely gone, their overall strength subsequently dropping. Relying on the god level 8 spider lancer's special ability and perfect tactics, Tang San left the deep-sea demon whale king no choice but to abandon its fortress-like body. As long as he turned into human shape, even though it would have one less weak point, it would still be much easier to deal with. But in fact, the deep-sea demon whale king had no choice but to do this. The enemies he had faced in the path had basically never used Tang San's method to fight it, and even if they wanted to, they still didn't have a freakish external spirit bone like the 8 spider lancers to do it with, able to break its defense as well as violently absorb its energy, and even poison it. The deep-sea demon whale king deeply felt that, if this went on, Tang San would have a chance of torturing it to death. The energy he swallowed could be released as abilities, also attacking it. With the infinite draining of the 8 spider lancers, even if it would take a long time, it would still be done for. Helplessly, he had no choice but to take this option, and compared to Xiaobai, this overlord of the seas would be weakened even more when in human form. At least all kinds of benefits from its enormous body were gone, and it also couldn't completely use all its energy. Facts proved that Tang San's choice to disengage was completely correct. The purple blue crystal condensed on the deep-sea demon whale king's body violently exploded, forming a purple blue giant maelstrom in the air. The shattered crystals were like sharp blades, filled with overbearing cutting power, with water and lightning attributes among them. Even if you didn't die, you'd still lose a layer of skin. However, even so, the circumstances in the sky still shocked Tang San. The giant purple blue maelstrom didn't start to disappear, but instead quickly contracted, spinning violently as it was squeezed together, its energy constantly compressing, and the deep-sea demon whale king's body could no longer be seen within. Did you believe you would have a chance by forcing me to take human shape? True, I can't possess such enormous energy when in human form, but that doesn't mean I would abandon it. How could you imagine what saved up over a million years? Listening to the deep-sea demon whale king, Tang San's expression sank. Ma Hongzhen had already come up behind him, scorching hot flames coloring the air deep red. Ma Hongzhen's voice echoed by Tang San's ear. Third brother, what is this fellow doing? Such violent energy. You have to be careful. Tang San nodded. He didn't know what the deep-sea demon whale king was doing, but he wouldn't rush in prematurely now. That purple blue maelstrom of condensed water and lightning, and even involving wind energy, wasn't so simple. Entering rashly would very likely give the deep-sea demon whale king a chance. Tang San had no doubts about the deep-sea demon whale king's fighting experience. Clear sky hammer in his left hand, sea god trident in his right, Tang San maintained a special state, his mental strength extroverted. Between heaven and earth, even though it was filled with the deep-sea demon whale king's enormous energy, Tang San's mental strength still filled every crack in between. These small cracks seemed unremarkable, but still completely passed through the energy enveloping the deep-sea demon whale king. It couldn't influence the energy, but it could still pass on each minute change to Tang San's mind. His boundless mental strength told Tang San that the deep-sea demon whale king's incomparably enormous energy was compressing with frightening speed. The compression moreover had a feeling of layers, and the closer to the center, the more violent the energy waves became. Once truly at the core, even Tang San's mental strength couldn't probe deeper, but Tang San didn't have to waste his energy further, because he very quickly saw the result. The purple blue light vanished, the 200-meter deep-sea demon whale gone. Appearing in Tang San's line of sight was a simple-looking middle-aged man. This person was more than 3 meters tall, deep blue hair scattered behind it. Most astonishing was that he wore a set of bizarre deep purple armor. The armor seemed crystalline, formed from chest, shoulder, stomach armor, battle skirt, as well as armor for all 4 limbs, a full set. No cracks could be seen at the joints. It also included a tall neck protector, surrounding its head in a semicircle, with gill-like patterns. All the energy in the air seemed to be compressed together in this instant, and at the same time, behind it also appeared an enormous deep purple whirlpool. The whirlpool slowly floated, turning from behind him to in front, finally condensing into a fist-sized gem on his chest. It was definitely a precious gem, and inside it still flickered with rotating energy, seeming especially bizarre. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.